There's an interview that we spoke of. It's on my channel. That was conducted by a federal agent from the Safe Streets Task Force. I want to ask you a few questions about that.
Kind of amazing when you think about it. In Perry's case, for example, he didn't trust Dozier, okay? And he was put in jail for a short time in Prince George's County. We held him on a really sort of a low-level drug charge in Prince George's County, just while we were getting our ducks in a row to charge him with the big indictment later. Right. And while he's being held in custody in Prince George's County, he has a young man named Sean Branch that comes and visits him in jail. Well, when I saw Sean Branch's name on the visitor's log, because I was, constantly monitoring Perry's activities in prison or jail or wherever he was, I just was like, what the hell is he talking to Sean Branch for?
Remember the years when the Safe Streets Task Force was out here pursuing a lot of the crime that was being conducted in the inner city?
I don't remember the years exactly, but I think it may have been like maybe the late 80s to early 90s, I believe.
When did you first hear that interview that's on my channel with the federal agent when he mentioned your name?
I heard it, probably almost a year ago.
Okay.
And a dude named Dan Oreilly or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The dude was fabricating a lot of that information, man. He put out there.
A lot of the interview in totality, or about you?
About me. You know what I mean? About a conversation that he said that I had with Wayne when I went to see him.
Right.
And my thing about that is, we all know how the feds work. If there are any wiretap of a conversation with me or anyone discussing murder,
right,
conspiracy to murder, or anything of that sort, we would have been arrested and charged with conspiracy to murder if you have this conversation on wire surveillance or video surveillance or whatever. You know what I mean? So the dude got up there and was fabricating a lot of that information he put out there to the public for public perception of me and Wayne and that whole little crew.
Was you shocked that they was following you? That they followed you to that visit? Like, nah, it's probably 20. What was you like? It's probably like 25 years later, 30 years later. Was you, when you heard it, was you like, the motherfuckers following me and shit?
I mean, I didn't hit that. I didn't catch that he was following me. I know he said when he seen the logbook.
Oh, he seen you logged in. Okay.
He was like, what the fuck is Wayne talking to Sean about? Right. So he was curious, I guess, what the conversation was about, and he fabricated his own conversation.
Got it. But in a nutshell, in the interview, he was saying that Wayne spoke to you when you spoke to Poochie. Right. So on and so forth. And it was totally fabricated, of course.
Totally fabricated, man. Like I say, Tom was somebody, man, that we all like very well and respected. You know what I mean? Nobody was thinking about bringing Tom no harm under that scope that he put out there, right? Right. So I don't know where he got that information from or why he would even put that out there. See, the feds play a lot of games, right? With trying to get people's families to retaliate off of false information that they put out there. So this dude downright probably knew that I was home or knew that I was coming home, and put some bogus information out there to try to get somebody to, retaliate for that.
To bite, right?
You know what I mean?
Right. Is there anything that you can do, like legally or civilly, to pursue something, to pursue them for? That's like slander.
It's like slander.
If it definitely didn't happen. Right.
You know what I mean? Because it definitely didn't happen.
When you heard it, like, how did it make you feel? Like, damn, he just put that shit over. 250,000, 300,000 people that heard that shit.
I got sick from hearing it, right? But I understood, the way that them devils play, man. Them devils with them badges, you know what I mean? They play some wicked games out here, and I respect the chess play. You know what I mean? It's a thinking man's game out here now, so I see what he was trying to do. Right. You can't get me in a court of law. You couldn't get me in a court of law. Now you trying to play chess with somebody else's relatives out here to push a button to see if they gonna bite.
Right.
That's how they do.
During the late 80s, there was an influx of Jamaican gangsters out here, namely the Shower Posse. Did you have any encounter or any issues with any of the rosters that was out here back then?
I didn't, man, some of the rosters was cool, man. You know what I mean? We was cool, but some of them didn't want to play by our rules, though. You know what I mean? They didn't want to play by our rules, man, so a lot of them, man, had to get spanked while they was here, but you know, some of them, they was all right, though, for the most part.
Right. Give me some of the names of some of the legendary fashion spots that y'all was spending a lot of that big money at in the 1980s. Some names that people gonna really, you know, that really mean something to Washington, D.C.
Right. Neiman Marcus, of course, Neiman Marcus, man. They had everything.
Y'all was at Neiman's in the 80s?
Yeah. Georgetown, Sabiato's. This before Sabiato's had his own line. He was selling some of Gianni Versace clothes and stuff there.
Right.
Imani's shop, Hugo Boss, Polo shop of Georgetown. We might hit Pentagon City. You know, way back in the day, early 80s, man. You know, we was young, so we was still hitting Landover Mall, PG Mall.
I was told that the whole Versace craze started out here and ended up going to the rest of the world by way of the Howard Homecoming and shit. Is there some truth to that?
I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I know when we was rocking the Versace shit, we wasn't wearing it like to be dressing up with.
Right.
We'd go get a silk Versace shirt, long sleeve, man, for like 12, 15, 1800. Throw it on with a pair of Guess shorts and some Timbs, and we gone. Straight like that. You know? What was
the Howard Homecoming like in the 80s down here?
Oh, the Howard Homecoming was live. Cause you got people from all over, you know what I mean? And you normally wouldn't meet if you didn't go out the city.
Right.
So by having all these people from all these different walks of life, and you know, they sharing their culture with us, we sharing our culture with them, it was live.
Who was the first person to take you to New York City? Did you go on your own, or you went with some of the hustlers you met?
I went with Lou.
Lou Hobbs?
Yeah, that's the first person that took me to New York.
He took you to Brooklyn?
Took me to Brooklyn, Albany Project.
Oh shit, he was in Albany. Notorious.
Yeah.
No doubt. What was Albany like in comparison to Montana Terrace?
It was similar. You know what I mean? They didn't hustle in bags like we did. They hustled in capsules. And especially like when the coke really took off up there, but it was live, man. I met a lot of live cats up there, a lot of good dudes, man. Saint, dude named Peter. Peter ended up being hot, but who else was Monk, one-arm Monk. You know, a couple dudes, man.
In the 1980s, what was that like for a young hustler in the 80s?
Virginia Beach was kind of like the spot where you wanted to go to show off your jewelry if you had it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your cars, if you got a nice car or whatever. All the fly honeys would be there. You know they lurking, they looking for a hustler.
Right.
And you know, I was young, so I just was happy just to be able to tag along with the older dudes, man, and just have fun and experience, you know, what it was like to be out there like that, because you know, we ain't got no beaches in DC. It was fun for us to go up there, be able to take our shirts off, man, and show our jewelry and just run around wild.
Right.
You know.
Was you out here? Was you growing up out here when Patrick Ewing was in college?
When Pat was in college, I really wasn't into basketball.
You was in the streets.
Yeah, I wasn't into basketball back then. I used to see Alonzo Mourning come down Wheatley Rec with Rayford. I used to see Len Bias might come up Montana sometimes with Brian Tribble. But basketball wasn't our thing. It wasn't my thing back then. You know what I mean? The shorts were too tight for one back then. And I thought the dudes was gay.
You knew, but you would regularly see Len out here playing ball?
Yeah, in spots. You know what I mean? He'd come up there in Montana Tourism Projects, man, get in the cage and they get the hoop.
Yeah.
But you know, we ain't, Len Bias.
Y'all didn't look at him like that,
you know what I mean?
huh?
It was just Len Bias. He'd come up here, play basketball with them dudes all the time, man. We ain't look at him like no star or nothing.
Right. He more so was looking at y'all, huh?
Yeah. You know what I mean? You know how it was back then. A lot of entertainers, a lot of athletes, they wanted to be like the hustlers.
Right.
Back then. Now, you know, it's flipped. The script has flipped over so much, man. The youngest want to be like what they see on these TVs.
Yeah. See, you said you knew Brian Tribble too.
Yeah, you know, I grew up around all them dudes, man. And, like, I had a different kind of upbringing than most because I started off young.
Explain the deviation, because right now you don't stand on it anymore. So, you know, you got some who did grow up in the sports. Go ahead and let it all hang out. Just
yeah. Well, you know, I grew up in the streets, man. Like knee deep in the streets, and I got away from boxing and got away from football once I started to see some real serious money.
Right.
At a young age, and it wasn't. I didn't look at it like a lot of money back then, but it was like for 11-year-old, 12-year-old to come in the house on a nightly basis with $2,000 a night, $2,500 a night. Back then, it was a lot of money for a kid, you know. So sports we wasn't really looking into.
right. So it took you early. You was gone.
Yeah, I was gone. I got bit by the money bug early.
At what age was you actually in the spin cycle? Because based on, you know, what I was reading, like by the time you got like 17, 18, you was going in and out of court cases and shit like that.
Right. What happened, what changed it for me, right, was when I met this LA dude named Roy. And Roy was he was, I don't know if you probably, I know you're familiar with him, dude named Waterhead Bo Bennett.
Yeah.
Bo Bennett was like, I guess you could call him the capo of that crew.
Yeah.
And you know, he was hitting Melvin Butler, who was hitting Ray.
Right.
Bo Bennett was also hitting Roy, who was hitting me.
Right.
But by me being younger than Ray and not having, you know, as many outlets as Ray to move that weight, I wasn't getting as much.
Right.
But once I started hanging with Roy real heavy, and he told me that I could make a lot more money with this pistol in my hand, right, than being out there trying to chase a motherfucker around the streets about my money because I gave him some work. So I'm like, all right, well, let me see. And that's when it kind of like changed over for me.
Right.
Right there.
So you felt that was your lane, that metal.
Right.